Welcome to another episode of Music Therapy. I am your host, John Thewin, a mental health psychotherapist, and today we are listening to your suggestion of Tom MacDonald's Sober. Let's get right into it and drop your next song you want me to react to in the comments below.
What up, y'all? My name's Tom. Little while back was an alcoholic.
So immediately it seems like he's in a peer support group or even like an outpatient program, sitting around in a circle, people drinking coffee, talking about their feelings. Pretty characteristic of a peer support group like NA, Narcotics Anonymous, Smart Recovery, Alcoholics Anonymous, AA.
Had a mental breakdown like a year ago. Came close to put me in a coffin. Damn. After the hooker I loved. After I did all the drugs. After I finally got fired for showing up late to the job, hella tired and drunk. After the oxys, I put up my nose with my boss on the oil rigs when I was young.
Wow. So yeah, he is really diving in here to the traumas that he has endured throughout his active addiction. So often in this world, we glorify and romanticize addiction, but he is laying out the facts. He is saying, nope, it's not fun. I have lost people. I have lost myself, my values, my person because of my addiction. I've almost died. I've put oxys up my nostrils. I don't know what's good for me, what's bad, and that's so characteristic of active addiction. Let's go back and listen to that one more time. I love his tattoos and his braid. He has such a hard flow.
I'm hella tired and drunk. After the oxys, I put up my nose with my boss on the oil rigs when I was young. After my ex cut her wrists and the cops thought I stabbed her and beat me, then put me in cuffs.
Wow, that's loaded. So immediately he's diving into some past traumas where he was framed or wrongfully accused for his ex-girlfriend slitting his wrist and beaten up for it. And we know that trauma is a gateway to addiction. It leads to continued use, continued numbing, continued trying to escape. Escapism and numbing are two really big parts of addiction.
After I totaled my car trying to run from the cops with a kilo of coke in a trunk. After I drank till I rotted my teeth on my head, got infections in all of my gums. After I couldn't get hard cause the...
Oh, wow. So one of the first things to go in addiction is your teeth if you're lucky. So self-care goes out the window and people stop brushing their teeth, they stop flossing, and typically in meth users, the people start grinding their teeth, and so their teeth come down to like little nubs and they have a lot of dental problems because of the meth use and the lack of self-care. But he is really diving in here. Holy shoot.
After I drank till I rotted my teeth on my head, got infections in all of my gums. After I couldn't get hard cause the vodka and porno sedated me till I was numb. After I...
Yes, and so I'm sorry I'm stopping it so many times here, but this is so raw in terms of the content. And absolutely, the porno, the vodka, bring your standards up to here, and it's completely unrealistic, and it numbs you, it sedates you, it makes everything real almost unthrilling, it almost makes it boring, and he's numb to these things because he's oversaturated his system with it.
All of my gums. After I couldn't get hard cause the vodka and porno sedated me till I was numb. After I couldn't escape from the basement I rented and went to go live with my mom. After I cheated on people I needed and lied trying to hide from the guy that I was. Then I got sober, the madness was over. Now I am proud of the man I become.
Yeah, so he has been through the ringer. He has lost people he loves, but when he got sober he was able to reclaim and own who he is and to be proud of who he is. And that is something so true in being in recovery myself, and also seeing people who are in their early recoveries is they cannot believe all this stuff, all the stunts that they were pulling in their active addiction, how they got away with it, and being so grateful that they're now sober and that they're alive and have their health and have their faculties. It's such an incredible experience. And if you are out there struggling with addiction, there is help, and it is kind of like living in a dormant state of yourself, like you're living in like a carapace or a shell of who you could be in active addiction.
Then I got sober, the madness was over. Now I am proud of the man I become.
Yep.
I'm finding someone that I know again. I started climbing out the hole I'm in.
Yeah, so he's becoming someone he knows again. He's reconnecting with his child roots. He's reconnecting with who he was before his active addiction, his friends, his family, and that is so key for recovery, having those solid connections that keep you grounded, keep you sane, keep you sober. And he's becoming proud, and that's such a wonderful place to be.
Fighting demons and I know I'll win. It's time for me to mend these broken wings. Life has been hard, I know it gets better. This is a war that I'll fight forever.
So yeah, addiction is, some people are predisposed to having addictive tendencies, whether it's through gambling, through drugs, alcohol, porn, and it is something that they typically struggle with most of their life. However, once you get out of the active addiction, it does get easier. Once you get a year sober, 5 years sober, it becomes much more easily handled than when you're in the throes of it and you're in active addiction and you don't know when your next hit, when your next drink is going to arrive. So while you will fight addiction forever, if you have those addictive tendencies, it will become easier, and there is treatment out there to help you work through some of those cravings. And that's the one humbling thing. He says, when I lost it all, I had to surrender. Addiction doesn't discriminate if you're black or white or tall or short. It doesn't matter. It absolutely will break you down and make you lose everything. And what a great place to rebuild your foundation when you don't have anything, when the house is burnt down. And that's what I've seen in working with people in recovery and in active addiction, is the transformation they have to go through in order to survive, because their addictive tendencies aren't playing out well for them. They're going to lead to either jails, institutions like rehabs, or death or homelessness. And so it is really a harrowing sight. And so in order to get sober, they have to completely change who they are. And that is because who they are is so destroyed by their addiction.
What up, y'all? My name's Mad Child. I've been off to Xannies for a while now. I was waking up feeling suicidal, but I think I'm finally starting to smile now. Man, I live...
Love it. So Xanax, for those of you who don't know, is a benzo. And a funny story on Xanax, about Xanax, is when I was like 15 or 16, I took a IQ test completely barred out, which is ton of Xanax, and I scored like a 65 on this IQ test, and my psychiatrist was like, he's like, John, do you know this means that you're retarded, right? I'm like, Doc, I don't think you should say that. He's like, no, that's what this IQ test says. And he's like, it was clearly you were impaired, but you should never share these results with anybody. And Xanax is one heck of a scary drug. It makes you lose all inhibitions, all faculties, all anxiety. And anxiety can be a great thing in terms of keeping you alive, keeping you from jumping off a cliff or doing self-destructive things. Let's listen to that again. That guy has some sweet flow.
What up, y'all? My name's Mad Child. I've been off to Xannies for a while now. I was waking up feeling suicidal, but I think I'm finally starting to smile now. Man, I lived a hell of a life. I've been to hell and back twice. Lost $10 million, 3 different addictions. Don't tell me about paying the price. From paying...
Wow, $10 million and waking up suicidal. I cannot imagine losing that kind of coin. That is an absolutely staggering number. So he must have really been wealthy or had a great career that was funding it. And that's the problem sometimes with addiction, is when you are financially stable and have a lot of money, it just feeds into addiction, and it can really, take $5,000 or $10 million. It doesn't really have a limit. The sky's the limit with addiction.
Houses with top models, hanging with strippers with pop bottles. Anxious and hiding alone in my room from the world that was pissing in pop bottles.
I love that he is opening up about his negative experience living the rock star life, because he's hanging with top models. He's probably hanging in the Beverly Hills mansions, with all of this great food, all these great people. But he's saying, hey, nope, addiction still was leaving me to a depressed, suicidal, anxious state, and there is no way out of that except to get sober. And that is what he seems to be rapping about here.
From chart top and being a role model to flop records and lost follows. When I cop product, got a month's worth. When I left the spot, cops followed. Saw a photo, it was only face, cause I was 85 pounds overweight. Mental breakdown trying to catch a plane. Wasn't Mad Child, I was only Shane. My puppy Lola was my only gang.
I wonder what his drug of choice was if he was 85 pounds overweight. So I would assume not meth, because meth typically makes you smaller. But if you know, please write in the comments. I would love to hear about Mad Child's drug of choice here, because it's clear. Maybe alcohol, right? Because typically empty calories can lead to bloating and increased weight. And you're in a rough place right here when he says his dog Lola was his only gang, the only person, the only thing to show up for him. And that's a hard place to be. You know you're doing something wrong if everyone in your life except your dog abandons you. And that's such a wake-up call right there. Whew.
I'm trying to catch a plane. Wasn't mad child, I was only Shane. My puppy Lola was my only gang. Had to put my baby in a grave. I walked away from every brick I laid so I could build a new wall to keep.
No, Lola dies. Oh no, that's rough. I wonder if it was related to his addiction or just natural causes. That's really rough.
Me safe.
I'm finding someone that I know again. I started climbing out the hole I'm in, fighting demons and I know I win. It's time for me to mend these broken wings. Life has been hard, I know it gets better. This is a war that I'll fight through.
I love how passionate, how fierce they are singing this together here. They're putting their fists up in the air. They're passionately screeching it, and they have such beautiful voices, of course, but they know that like they have to be fierce, they have to be passionate in order to fight this thing of addiction. And it requires you to be on all the time. One weak moment on one bad day can lead to a full-blown relapse, $10 million in the hole, like Mad Child here. Let's listen to that again. Hear the passion in their voice. So incredible.
I know it gets better. This is a war that I'll fight forever. I have my scars, I'll always remember when I lost it all and never surrendered. When you
They are really fighting for their life here. You can see it in their fists, in their faces, in their passion, in their voices. So incredible. And that's so powerful. I just love, it's almost inspiring and motivating to like stay sober and to be real and be your best self, because so many of us live at a fraction of our true potential. And this song is really just motivating me to like wake up, be my best self. It's making me a little emotional, as well as like wake up, and never surrender, never give up, no matter what obstacle you're facing, no matter what hardships you've been through, no matter what addiction you're facing. It is absolutely something you can overcome with help. And this song is badass.
When you fall down and the world's closing in, you can get up again, up again. Life has been hard, I know it gets better. This is a war that I'll fight forever.
And I love when he's singing here that he is looking down at the ground, kind of flailing here. To me, I'm interpreting this as like he is looking down at his demons of addiction, and he is saying, this is a war that I'll fight forever, but guess what? You are down there and I am up here. I am living. You are not reclaiming another day of my life and making me live out of alignment with my values. It's really emotional. Let's see if you can see what I'm seeing here.
Life has been hard, I know
Right here.
it gets better. This is a war that I'll fight forever. I have my scars, I'll always remember when I lost it all and never surrendered.
I love how they say that. I have my stars, I'll always remember. So what that represents is like what you're grateful for, what you have in your corner that you often take for granted. And that's a great antidote for the victim mentality. If you're ever feeling down in your feelings, like you are a victim of life, remember your stars, count them, and be grateful for what you have. And then it can offset that victim mentality, that victimhood that can lead to self-defeating thoughts. So always remember what we do have, our stars, the people in our corner, the things that we have, the privileges that we have, and it helps offset negative, depressive thoughts.
I
They are so talented and so raw. I mean, to have Tom MacDonald talk about some of the things that he has talked about, so like the porno sedating him until he's numb, his addiction leading him to do really self-destructive things. It is absolutely crucial that he talks about it because it makes other people feel like they're not alone in their active addiction, and to show like maybe he's not even the worst. Maybe I'm not the worst, and maybe seeing him gives me perspective and can help me heal from my own. And what an incredible song. Thank you so much for this recommendation. It made me emotional, and I hope you guys enjoyed some of the insight and analysis to this reaction. And if you have any other music, videos, songs you want me to react, analyze to, please leave them in the comments and I will get to them as soon as possible. We have a goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers in 100 days. Please like, subscribe, comment, share this video with a friend. It would mean the world to me. It really helps out. Totally free to hit that like button. So thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next music therapy episode.